Okay, peace and love, peace and love. How's everyone doing today? How's everyone doing? Okay, so we're going 2 for 1 today. Part two, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. Yep. Why? Well, automatically, there's been things going on, people having a problem with the download when it comes to intimacy, sexuality, relationships. So we're going to go in on it. We're going to go super in on intimacy, sexuality, relationship because when we're talking about principle, purpose, morality, all these things, we have to start to now understand intimacy. We have to start to understand sexuality. We need to start to understand relationships. And this is going to get crazy. So, first thing we're going to start with is intimacy. And with intimacy, we're going to first break it down by start talking about what it means to be intimate, right? So, let's look up the definition for intimate. Intimacy, closely acquainted, familiar, close, private and personal, of knowledge, detailed and thorough, a very close friend. Okay, so again, to imply, to hint, to state, to make known, right? So let's go. As an adjective, we have closely acquainted, familiar, a place or setting having or creating an informal, friendly atmosphere. Indicate that a couple is having sexual relationship. Look at even this, involving very close connection, private and personal, knowledge, detailed, thorough, very close friend. Imply or hint, state or make known. Okay. So intimacy. We see what it has to do with intimacy. Into me, right? Think about it as into me, right? So if we're being intimate or intimate, right? We're thinking about closeness, relativity, right? Getting to know each other, hinting, all these different things, hinting at something bigger, like a bigger connection. Whether that be an intimate friendship, you can have an intimate relationship, you can have all these different things. Now, the big problem is we as a society and as people today keep connecting intimacy to sexuality, intimacy to sex. These are two completely different things, right? Being intimate with someone and having sex with that person are two completely different things. Now, when we talk about understanding of principle, moral, and purpose, right? So let me just break down sex real quick with principle, morals, and purpose. So, purpose of sex. Sex is a procreative act. Bang. Objectively, well, right across the board. Sex is a procreative act. It's two things coming together using a form of energy, some kind of middle ground, right? A cream of creation, a Cree, to now create something else. Now you can have a sacred energy exchange. Speaking is sex. Touching is sex. All these different things are sexual in nature. It's an exchange between two people. But when we look at it today, with relationships, we're always trying to express in a certain way, not understanding that everything is intimacy, everything is sex, all of these things. So there's not really a need for mutual masturbation all the time, right? And that's where we get caught up to in today's society. The idea of the process that we need to have mutual masturbation with each other in order for it to be intimate and sexually stimulating between the two. So we need to break it down and start to look at just as a man, right? We gotta look at the health, the objectivity of sex, right? So first of all, number one, no thing that eats during the day has sex at night. Number one, no animal, no anything in nature that eats during the day has sex at night, right? So automatically we have to look at this objective fact. So if it eats during the day, it has sex during the day. If it eats at night, it has sex at night. Why does it do this? Well, as a male, right, when you are in the middle of sexual intercourse, right, you are now creating a form of energy. You're creating through a friction, through all this motion, you're creating energy, you're creating fluid, a cream, a creation, right? Thought, cream, creation, create. That's why they're both in the same thing. You're creating creation. You're helping to work with creation. So when that being said, when you finish, right, you are now releasing energy, right? You're releasing forms of energy, you're releasing bodily fluid, cerebral spinal fluid, you're releasing all of this. Now, that being said, that takes a lot of work, that takes a lot of energy, that leads to exhaustion, right? It exhausts the organs, right? When you look at it, You become, that's why they say, that's why you become tired after. You become tired after because you just released a lot of energy. You released a lot of stuff. So now within that release, right, you are now tired, right? So what do you need to bring you back to sustenance, to bring you back to homeostasis? You need to eat, right? You need to breathe. You need the sun. You need all that, right? So if I'm having sex at night and then going to sleep, my organs, my body is missing vital nutrients, right? So as a male, when you get and have sex, you're supposed to have it during the day. That's why you have morning wood. That's why you have all these different things. You're supposed to have it in the morning, right? Because when it happens in the morning, you have the full day to recover. You have the full day to eat your nutrients, your Wheaties, right? Nah, don't eat Wheaties. They have metal in it. You saw the video. Eat your fruit, eat your vegetables, do all that. Regain your energy, regain your strength, right? So we, first of all, we have to now say, okay, no animal that eats during the day has sex at night. So all men, right, should be having sex during the day, right? You should have sex when the sun rises, because you rise, right? Now the sun rises, there's a form of your energy. Male is sun energy, right? So we have to think male is the sun, woman is the moon, right? So your sun energy, you're working with the sun here. Okay, cool. Now, when you come, you need to be able to now get nutrients, right? You can't be docile, right? Because if you're docile and go to sleep, that's bad for your organs. So I need to be able to eat my meals after. I need to be able to do all this. Now, with that being said, you're creating all this energy. You're about to create a child. You're about to create all this different stuff. When you do this, right? When I do this and I partake in this action, right? Now, I have to realize that that's not supposed to happen all the time. It's only supposed to happen a certain amount of times within a month. It takes your body amount of time to just recover, right? So for males, again, you should read African Holistic Health. Give African Holistic Health a read. Come on, go check some articles. You can find it out if you really want to. There's a reason that they propagate this stuff. The reason that they push sex, because it makes a male docile. It makes us come. And if we're not doing it properly, right, we're weak. We're super weak. We have to be on top of our sexuality. That's why you're supposed to tame the beast so then you can live, right? Okay, anyway, back to this. 2 times a month. This is why Tantra was created. This is why all these different art forms were created, because it had to do with a man saving his seed, right? You're only supposed to release seed twice a month. Twice a month. It takes 2 weeks to recover. That's why Tantra was created. Tantra was created so that you could hold and you could be cool and you could still experience and have the oneness without the Kree, because you can't do that, because if I do this, exactly, if I do this, now I'm leaving myself empty, right? I'm leaving myself literally empty, energy drained, all that stuff. I can't be doing that too often. So I'm wasting seeds. Do not waste your seed. Well, come on. You know how it goes, right? So again, men, you guys raise with the sun. The sun is when you raise, right? So only during the day. Unless you start becoming nocturnal, only during the day. In the morning, eat after, only twice a month, right? These are things that you have to keep. So that means that once I look at it from that perspective, everything else switches up, right? And as a man, it has to be your job in a sense too, to have knowledge of that and protect that, right? You got to protect that shit, because no one's going to do it for you, right? You have some people who come and like want to press you on that, and it takes a lot of work for a male to say no. And you have to say no, because you got to remember, only in the morning, right? Only 2 times a month, right? Eat your food afterwards, right? That's the objective truth on this. That's the objective truth. Objectively, that's how we're working. We're working with organs in the body. Those are the 3 things that you have to keep in mind. Now, with that being said, what is intimacy? What is intimacy? Intimacy is gaining closeness for your partner. So we have a lot of things going on right now with relationship dynamics between males and females, right? There's males and females that don't understand how to become friends. There's the people that say that males and females shouldn't be friends. There's people that are saying all these different things. Because it all comes down to the notion of intimacy, intimate connection, what that means. What is an intimate connection compared to 2 people, and all these different perspectives. Now, male to female, you should be able to harbor intimate connections that aren't always sexually viable, because you're not supposed to be that sexual in nature. You're supposed to have the nature, but you're also supposed to have the nurture, which is now the learning of what the nature is. Nature and nurture always work together. You see it. So I always get upset right after. I always wonder why do shit, right? You have to realize that there's the nature of the man and then there's the nurture, right? So your nature, you have a sexual nature as a male, right? You have a sexual nature. I have a nature that when I see a female that's attractive, all this stuff, sexual nature. But then you have the nurture, the refinement of the nature that creates the man, right? So once I now understand the tendency, once I understand the urges, now I have to learn how to tame that. I have to learn how to nurture it and make it, put it into proper use, right? So that is where sexuality should stand. Sexuality should stand only, right? Only when it comes under proper moral and principle foundations. That's why I wanted to build on today, and that's why it was funny when I said that today. I had people make comments that they wanted to further speak about this, right? So as an intimate being, right, intimacy is just getting to know someone. So there's no problem with intimacy. We need to be more intimate, less sexual in society today. We're super sexual and not intimate. That's why you have this idea of like people just having sex, like they don't really care, they want to be fuck buddies, they want to be this, because it's all sexuality, no intimacy. Intimacy should take place anywhere. If we were more intimate as a society, right? If we were more intimate with one another, I guarantee a lot of the problems that we're plagued with wouldn't be going on, because we'd be able to understand from more of a like eye to eye level with someone else, because we'd be able to now become relative. We'd be able to have a relationship, because the more intimate I am with someone, the more I can create a relative plane, the more we can be in relation to one another. But it takes intimacy, right? And intimacy gets lost when you don't have morals and principles, as you see today, right? Because there's no real moral and principle standing, right? We don't understand what truth is. It's hard to now be intimate, because there's a nature to the man, there's a nature to the woman that now will make it hard unless the nurture is there, right? And the nurture needs to now work with the nature in order to now create intimate relationships and to create relationships in general, and to start to put sexuality in perspective. Because the female, like, she feels pleasure more than men. She has a whole different makeup to her being, right? Whole different makeup, right? Whole different, because she goes through a lot different things than we do. So as a man, you got to understand what you're working with. Females have to understand what they're working with. But there are plenty of females out here to teach females about what they're working with. I've done videos talking about females and doing their thing, but I want to speak to the men in a sense right now, because women, out of a sense, like, you guys are cool, you guys do your thing, but we have to be in control of our shit in order to really like help you guys get in control of your shit. Like, if I'm just always ready to go every single time, the second you do anything, I'm just like gonna be hopping on that. So I gotta know first in my head what I'm working with, what my problems are, what are the things and the urges that I need to tame. And once I can figure that out, I can figure out everything else. Once I can figure out how to morally, like, what the moral stance is, what's the right and wrong, once I can see objectively what's the truths about sexuality, what are the truths about sexuality, right? Why was Tantra created if everyone always had the notion that you could just like be like going crazy and just like letting shots off as a man? You can't be out here just doing that, right? You can't be out here doing that. You gotta calm down. You gotta understand how it works. Everything has a purpose. Everything was made with a purpose, a system, a reason. That's one thing we all have to start creating, like understanding. You look at everything around you, there's a divine system that was built. It wasn't just like a one-off, right? There was a system built. Like, you look at astrology, like, that's one of the craziest things. Like, yo, look at all these systems and how they affect me. Look at the stars, you look at the body system, you look at anything. It's all systems, right? So when I'm working within a system, I have to understand that there's purpose for the system, and I have to understand the system has ways that it optimally functions. So we have to start to define that thing. It can't just be a free-for-all. It's not like all of a sudden you're given something that's like, yo, do whatever you want with it. You see, that's how we got fucked up. That's what we started thinking. We're like, oh, all this nature, we can do what we want with it. Like, that shit over there, I can do what I want with it. So you see, it just like breaks down. Like, that's not a morally proper stance, because you can see the intention wasn't really right. So everything that came off that intention was wrong. So where are we today? So what do we have to do? You have to start looking at your body and the technologies that you're created of and the systems that you're made of and be like, yo, all right, this sucks, but here's how it's got to be. And I did that. I've been doing that for a bit, and it's tough. It's really tough unless you have a partner on the wave who understands where you're at, right? Because then, like, now this is where the intimacy comes in. Because once you take sexuality out, right, that can leave, like, sexuality as a crutch for relationships sometimes. And people need to start calling it how it is, right? A lot of people get sexually attached and attracted to someone and then start to, like, compromise on who that person is, right? They have sex with them too early. Like, there was one thought, it was like, I was sitting there, I was like, man, sometimes, like, I got a job at Subway and I had to go to fucking 3 interviews for that bad boy. I said this in the video recently. I had to go to 3 interviews for that job. So if someone's like letting me and thinking about letting me inside them after I've only known them 1 time, 2 times, like met them once, twice, then like it was hard to get a job at Subway. How are you holding yourself? You gotta be at like we gotta understand this. You gotta understand this. Everyone's like, oh, it's about allowance and being in the moment, but like again, being in the moment is only good once I understand what moral and principles are. Then I can live in the moment. Right? But I still have to have a moral and principle foundation. I can't just do everything I feel. There's that problem with subjectivity. It's not all about how you feel, what you feel. It's also about a greater good. If we just only went off the feels all the time, that's why we're in society today. People had feelings like we should do this, this, and this, then created the science after, and now we're in a place where everyone feels like there's a lot of things we need to fix. But we can't be worried about that. So sexuality covers for a lot in relationships. It covers for a lot. It covers for intimate problems with intimacy. Because the less sexuality and the sexual nature of your relationship is, the more intimate you need to be with your partner. The more you need to be able to connect with them. The more you need to be able to have things in relation besides just physical attraction. The more you need to be able to, like, I like reading these kind of books. We both like these books. Or she likes a completely different book and we're going to teach each other about it after. Or like we're cleaning the house together, we got this flow, we got a rhythm, right? There's all these different things and natures to relationships that you have to get into, and sexuality covers that a lot. Because you see people after like 3, 4, 5 months when that big buzz and stuff die down, you see where relationships go. Right, a lot of relationships have trouble now making it past that year, 2 years, and we're talking about life partner. The reason people have problems with relationship is because they don't know how to be in relation. They don't know how to be intimate with one another. Of course, everyone's gonna say fuck relationships and fuck all this stuff when no one knows how to be intimate with one another and have a relationship. That's a problem, right? That's a problem. I see it going from no matter what your sexual denomination is. No matter if you're gay, straight, I don't care. I see problems with relationships. I see problems with intimacy. Intimacy because there's problems with communication. There's problems with being able to be intimate with someone without being sexual all the time. Being sexual in nature just deviates the real purpose and intention of a relationship. Purpose and intention in relationships are beautiful. They're pure. It should just be like, I really care about this person. They're this, this, and this. Once you start breaking someone down sexually in your mind, you're already tarnishing that. Damn, it sucks, right? It sucks. But you really have to think about that. If I'm already undressing this person in my mind and intention is everything, I'm already bringing the relationship into a place it shouldn't be. So I got to be able to control this. And it's all about the control, right? Now everyone be like, Matt, you're talking about some crazy, crazy stuff right now. No one's going to get on this. And I'm like, okay, I know, right? But there's some people who are going to really feel this because it's applicable. It's applicable. That's like my one thing. When I meet females, I meet girls, I meet anyone, I just try and just keep it real pure and just see where it goes. Because once you start really like putting that intent on everything, it's going to skew. Then you start creating expectations, and then we see where we go, right? Expectations is a killer of relationships, right? If I'm intimate with someone, I'm going to be relative to them, and I'm not going to create expectations. How to be intimate with someone without it always being sexual. Facts, right? So for men, again, I'm going to reiterate this because this needs to be reiterated for the dudes, right? Sexuality. Only in the morning. Only animals that eat during the day get busy during the day. You don't eat during the day and get busy at night, right? You need to get those vital nutrients back, right? So in the morning, and then you eat a full day of food, right? Get yourself back into shape. You gotta, in the morning, there's a reason why the morning for men is a big time of the day, right? Morning is when you do it. Eat during the day, you have sex during the day. 2, right? Only twice a month, right? It takes 2 weeks for you to recover from sexual activity as a male, right? Your organs are down, your hormone levels have switched up, everything is changing in your body. You were just trying to create another you. So you think that your body just be holding out energy like that? No, that's like a sacred, that's why it's a sacred experience, right? It's sacred because it's the creation. Like, I don't know, but like, think about it. 3, get into tantra if you're a dude, if you guys are into that, like if you guys are trying to go about it, be careful. Tantra, right? Men, understand what you're doing. Know why you're doing it. Know this whole thing. Be strong for you and the female, right? Talk to the ladies. I mean, African holistic health. Dr. Lee Ela, Africa, brace it down. Do you think there's a reason why they keep propagating and pushing sex on people so much? We never really like to look at that because been told like sexual pleasure and stimulation does so much for us, but it really doesn't do that much for you. As a male, that's the creation time. That's when you're like in creation mode, right? Female's a different experience. Again, let female teach you about the female side. Men need to see it. You see that you're not supposed to be just shooting off, man. No, keep that seed. That's one of your beautiful creations, man. Treat it as such. And I know that's tough. Trust me, I fucked up with it too. I fucked up with it too, but there's been times where I've been real good about it, real on it. And if you have someone who's on your frequency, if you have a female that's on your frequency, she understands and knows the deal. You don't even have to really worry about it. Just talk with her, show her, right? And you're good. Because that's really what it's about. Because that builds intimacy. I guarantee you, once that equation gets taken out for a while, if you don't believe me, if you have a significant other, go for 2 months. Just cut it out. Do this. Just cut it out for 2 months and just be with them and see what the difference is. See if there is a difference. Like you want to fast from meat? You want to fast from all that? Well, let's fast. Let's talk about fasting. Let's fast from all kind of things. Like, and then go back to it and see what it is all about. Right? If you fast around significantly, you're gonna see there's a lot of things that like you guys can do to be intimate and be cool and gain like knowledge without having to really like get to anything crazy, with being able to now pay homage and honor like the beauty in life, the beauty in the creation of each other, because there's a beauty in that, right? But when we think that every system can be just used and abused however we want to, there's no beauty in the actual act anymore. Like having a child, that's a spiritual experience. That's crazy sacred. And like you want to be able to create the littest intent. It's all about your intention, right? We talk about intent. If I'm able to now like channel this activity and really put this towards a fire-ass intention and keep that intention pure, right? Once I finally act on that intention, what's the power behind it, right? Like everyone's got this movement, right? We got this movement, and everyone's like, yo, we got to keep pure. We got to try and be pure because we know that that's going to end. That intention, that pure intention is going to add to the goodness in the end. However, if we start diluting that with pleasure and all this stuff, what's the intent going to be? What's the action going to take place? Principles, morals, like all this stuff. It's tough, yo. It's tough, and you get shit talked. Like I've gotten shit talked by girls, yo. I'll be honest. Thank you, bro. Trust me, like I've been shit on. Like I've had females shit on me, right? They be like, yo, like, what are you just holding out? You think you're pure, blah blah blah. Purity, like snickering at you just cause like, yo, I'm not trying to do this. I'll be like, yo, I hit my limit this month. Sorry, like it's like a phone bill. I only have so many minutes. Like, sorry, I hit my limit this month. They're like, oh, why? What do you do? You just gotta just be strong, yo. And I just would have to sit there and take it. Be like, yo, y'all got me right now. You have me, right? You can shit talk me all you want. I'm in a spot where, okay, I get it. And then you have to go through other things, because sometimes like when you're not physically active with your female, right? They're gonna start thinking something's wrong. They're gonna start thinking that you're with someone else. You got eyes for someone else. All this. But then that's when you have to learn intimacy. That's when you have to be more intimate with your female. You got to show, like, rub her feet every night. Like, give her a back rub every night. Whatever she needs, right? Because she's really your queen and you're trying to do this for both of you, then give her the perks of, like, your side. Be like, yo, I'm doing this for us, but I'm also willing to do things for you. It's got to still be that mutual give. You got to make sure she knows and make sure she feels like you're not losing you, right? Because now it really makes you go in your bag. And I think men in general, we got to go in our bags a little bit more. Not all females make us go in our bag enough. You got to go back in your bag, right? You got to start learning. You got to go on YouTube and look up some back rub techniques and get over there and work your girl, right? Give her a nice back rub, right? Give her rub her feet, do some shit like that. Do we do that anymore? I know the good men do. I know there are good men on here who do that stuff with their female whenever, but don't make her ask. Just do it, right? Do it. I used to be doing some stuff like when I was learning cupping and I was learning herbalist stuff. Every time I learned a new technique with like I'd go practice on my girl. I'd be like, hey, I got you. Lay down. Let me see. I'm about to. You gotta do stuff like that with her. Keep that fresh. Cause if you guys are on that conscious journey together, be on that conscious journey together, right? Meditate with your girl. Have you ever sat silent right across from your female? Just silent, not said a word, meditative right across from them? You know, it's power. That's intimacy. You connecting on both planes, right? Do these things. Do these things with her, right? Like, be conscious and be well in your consciousness. Because that's what this is about, right? It's about allowing both you guys to grow together in consciousness. So you guys have to be putting things into action. Action. Yeah. So sexuality, intimacy, purpose, principle, all this stuff. Put them together. Now I'm not someone who's like, be like, re-virginize yourself every second. I'm not someone who puts all these steady, harsh things on people. I don't do that. I'm not about that life. However, life that I am about, I'm about men understanding their technology, about men and women being able to come together on a plane of understanding and be able to actually have relations now, like relationships, have friendships, be able to communicate, be able to be intimate with one another without always adding the sexual perversion that ruins it. Understanding, just keep that pure, right? Keep the intent pure on all things, and it's gonna be lovely, right? Grow with your lady. You guys are becoming set in tune. Become in tune together, right? So like sexuality, again, same thing. Sexual nature, anything that comes to sex, purpose first. Purpose first. I know it sucks. Moral and principle. Purpose, right there. Because again, once I do have sex, right? I do have sex. What's my intent when I'm having sex? Is it just because I just want to have sex with this person? Just because they're hot? Because what is my intent? Is there a good intent? Am I trying to further a union? Am I trying to procreate? What's your intent? Now when we start talking about intention behind the act, now you start to see like where it's real. It's real when I can put a lit intention behind the action. If you're like sexual in nature, boom, whatever, but what's the intent behind it? Is it strictly for pleasure? If it's strictly for pleasure, then why are we doing it? If it's to create a union, right? Intimacy is what creates a union, not sex. Sex is just like, should be like the stamp on the union. That's like, yo, we're so together, we want to create another one. So like, what's about the union? Like, if I want to have a better union, I should want to be more intimate with my partner, not have sex with them. Right? Like, right? We have to be objective. What's the purpose? What is the purpose? Again, animals that eat in the day don't have sex at night. So men, women, you shouldn't be having sex at night. Bad for all your organs, right? Break it down again. 2, right? Men shouldn't have sex more than twice a month. You shouldn't ejaculate more than twice a month. Facts. Look it up, right? It's bad for your organs. Man, if you do ejaculate, eat and everything after. Your organs are weak. You just drummed up all that energy to create a seed. You have to eat after. You have to get nourishment. You have to do all these things, right? 4, work on intimacy. Be intimate with your lady, yo. Because now that you have this truth, if you're a truth seeker, like you got some truth right now. Now you gotta learn how to add that into your conscious circle, right? How do I move in this consciousness now? How can I be intimate with my lady? How can I create positive relations with her? What is sexuality? That's why when people ask me about sexuality, I say, yo, just what's the purpose? Then it just tells me the nature of it. I don't need to be able to say, yo, this is bad, this is good, that one's right, that one's wrong. All I do is say, yo, what's the purpose? And if you know if it is what's the purpose, then sexuality all makes sense. Then you'll know whether it's a good or bad, morally correct or an incorrect act, right? Why? Like, how do you feel about? Because that's what, again, another question. People were asking me about how I felt about sexuality, how I felt about gay, straight, all that. I say, yo, just what's the intent? What's the purpose? If you can tell me what the intent and purpose is to anything, and it makes sense, it's logical, then I'm okay with it. But then you just gotta let me know what the intent and purpose is. That's it. I don't say anyone's right. I don't say anyone's wrong. Just keep it objective. And I don't have too many feelings about either, because the beings who are expressing any form of consciousness, I'm cool with them. I'm cool with any being. I'm cool. But when it comes to, when we talk about like morals and principles and we're talking about objectivity, then I gotta just say, yo, what is the purpose? Why is it going? What's the deal? And at that, I let it all solve itself. Now, for relationships, again, relationships need to be, yo, what up, Mike? Relationships need to be built around intimacy. They need to be built around people with morals and principles. We already went over morals and principles earlier today, right? So everyone who's on this wave and peeping this at the second video, you already caught morals and principles earlier. You know what morals and principles are. You know how to define them. You know what that is. So once I have a good moral and principle foundation and I know what objectivity is, relationships just fall right in line, right? Relationships are easy. Relationships are always so easy when you have morals and principles, because you always know that you can trust the other person, because it's about trust. Intimacy is about trust. Everything when it comes to relationship is about trust. Can I trust this person? Can I allow? Because the thing is, there's the idea of allowance. You have to allow someone to experience you, right? And what part, think about that. It's crazy shit. You allow someone to experience you, and you allow someone to experience certain sides of you, allow someone to experience you in a different light and some in another light, right? So when it comes to relationships, it's all about allowance, which means that it's about moral and principle standings, because like the more that I have firm stance with morals and principles, then I can allow more. It becomes easy. So that's all you have to remember. Same token, it's very simple, but it's very complicated, right? Because objectivity, all these things are tough. They're not things that are easy to grasp, right? It's not even that they're hard to grasp, it's just they're hard to put in motion. It's a narrow road. You know, it's a narrow road. So I don't think that by the time anyone got to this part, they're going to be looking for me to drop off what are the keys to intimacy, sexuality, and relationships. I think that they already got it by now. So with that being said, I'm going to keep it super simple for everyone, right? Females, be supportive of your man. Know that your man has certain things, and you can rewind this video to know that there's certain things that you have to be mindful of on his agenda. Know your body too. Women, know your body, know your cycles, know everything like that. It helps for you guys both to be clicking. Know your cycles. You guys can get synced up. Men don't even know that they have a monthly cycle as well. You'll start to learn that. Once you learn that you have a monthly cycle, you and your girl are going to start linking up. Then it's going to be even different, right? You'll know when she's ovulating just by how you wake up in the morning. Like, oh shit, you're ovulating? Oh, don't. That's when you know the bond's real. That has to do with intimacy. Men, rub your girl's feet, rub her back, be intimate with her, right? Talk to her about deep things. Talk to her about stuff. Talk to her about anything. Just get close, get intimate, do things with her, cook with her, create memories. That's intimacy. Intimacy is just openly creating memories. Allow. Just be open and allow, right? You don't have to do anything. Make space, be open and allow. Allow your female. Stop listening to all this trap music that tells you fuck bitches or all whack, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that anymore. Cut that out. Be open. Don't have any problem. Just let them in. It's cool, right? It's cool. You'll know right away. Because remember, you learn detachment. So if everything was to go wrong and anything goes bad, you just detach from that and move on anyway, right? And you're happy. Nothing's affecting your reality. So just be open. Give everyone a chance. It's dope. People are humans, and people are dope. People are humans, just like you. Everyone makes mistakes. It's on people to just have a like-minded understanding, right? Try and be objective as much as possible. Try to be open as much as possible. Try to be moral. Try to have principles. It's tough, right? It's tough in this society, but you can do it. Anyone can do it if they want, right? But anyway, that's all I had tonight. I hope for the people who are looking for me to drop some kind of knowledge on this. I think they're in here, or they'll see it tomorrow. But I hope we touched on intimacy, sexuality, and relationships enough. At least I was able to touch on this prospect of men. Sexuality, I don't get into sexuality too much. I just get into purpose. I get into objectivity. I don't talk about sexuality in a sense. I believe that figures it all. I think everyone's beautiful. How they express themselves, how they express their love for another person is completely their business. However, we do need to start being objective and start having some facts and principle to what we're doing. And principle, like we said before, comes from fundamental truth. So we have to first find out fundamental truth. And for my men, I went over the fundamental truth tonight. It sucks. It's consciousness, right? It's a new consciousness level for some of you. And it was a new one for me. It's something that I'm still overcoming. I still make mistakes like everyone else, but then I'm also on it like other people. I'm mindful. I try my best. But then the times where I skid, yeah, man, there's times I've skid, There's times I fuck up just like everyone. I fuck up just like everyone, but I'm always on it, and I'm always actively trying to do my best, right? Be ye perfect, that's a crazy idea, but you gotta try. You gotta try, right? You gotta try to be as close as you can. Because if you're trying to be perfect, you're gonna be damn good, bro. You're gonna make mistakes, but it's okay. That's how everyone should be. Everyone should be trying to be the perfect version of themselves. Who knows if perfect is achievable or not? We should be trying to be perfect, because at least if you miss it, you're still making progress. And that's the goal, right? The goal in life is to push your consciousness and progress every single day. And if that's the goal, then what are you striving for? Are you striving to be doing the same shit you've always done? How are you trying to move? So for everyone who has popped in, everyone who came in to say what's up, everyone who joined the conversation, thank you guys for coming. I hope I was able to drop some 20s for some of my people out there looking for some 20s. Shout out to Mike and Forrest, You guys have been in here chilling, doing your thing. Yeah, shout out to everyone who stopped by. I love you all. I love myself. I am nature. I am nurture. I am everything. I am nothing. I am expression of consciousness, justice, truth. You hearing me say I am means you are too, right? Because I am playing in your head makes you believe you are. Because you are. I'm just reassuring you of everything that you already are, but maybe you don't always get the reassurance of. Oh, what's up, Malachi? This video was pretty dope. You're gonna want to run this back. This shit was pretty dope. All right. But I love you all. Peace.